Hello, this is Ruth Hollingshead, trustee for Site for Wight, welcoming you to this week's Talking News.
Site for Wight Talking News for Friday the 26th of June 2020.
Alison, reading from the Isle of Wight County Press. The biggest supermarket chains across the country have updated their rules on whether or not face masks should be worn in store. It comes after the UK government released guidance in May regarding the wearing of masks in both essential and non-essential shops. Currently, it remains optional as to whether they should be worn inside shops and supermarkets, but the major chains have put their own guidance in place. The government guidance says, if you can, wear a face covering in an enclosed space where social distancing isn't possible and where you will come into contact with people you do not normally meet. This is most relevant for short periods indoors in crowded areas, for example, on public transport or in some shops. Many shoppers have since taken the decision to wear masks in stores. We've put together a roundup of what the rules are on face masks from all the major supermarkets. Aldi. At present, customers have the choice if they want to wear a face covering or not in store. In a statement, the supermarket added, Aldi will be providing the option of face masks to all its store-based colleagues to further support their safety as they continue to feed the nation. Asda. Shoppers also have the choice if they want to wear a face mask when at Asda. A spokesman from Asda said, "We are complying with all government guidelines and we welcome customers wearing face masks or not." Tesco. Like other retailers, Tesco has not made wearing masks compulsory for any of their shoppers or any of their staff. Social distancing rules remain in place, with a restriction on the number of shoppers who can shop at any one time. Instead, social distancing measures have been introduced, including how many shoppers can shop at one time. Sainsbury's. While masks have been made available for all staff at Sainsbury's to wear, it is not compulsory for shoppers to wear them. A spokesman from the supermarket added, "Masks are available for all our colleagues who wish to use them while they work or travel to their place of work." Marks & Spencer. It has been reported that face visors have been available to staff since the beginning of April, but the wearing of the visors or any face coverings has not been enforced in store. Again, like other supermarkets, it is up to customers if they want to wear a face mask or not. And now an update from Dress for Less. Site for Wight's own dress agency, Dress for Less, is due to reopen on the 2nd of July, and face masks will be offered at the store entrance to all visitors, along with hand sanitizer and disposable gloves.
This is Brian reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Isle of Wight companies ready to adapt. The Isle of Wight is getting ready to burst out of lockdown on July the 4th. With pubs, restaurants, hairdressers and other sectors given the green light to reopen, island businesses are ready to go. Although Prime Minister Boris Johnson limited all indoor hospitality to table services and customers' contact details will be collected to allow for test and trace, the island was generally upbeat about the relaxation. Hotels, bed and breakfasts, campsites and caravan parks have all been given the go-ahead to reopen, as have playgrounds, museums, galleries, theme parks, outdoor gyms and arcades, libraries, social clubs and community centres. It is immensely positive for the whole industry, said the Fighting Cocks Managing Director Sam Shaw. The change in distance is truly a game changer. It's as near to a new normal as we can expect, and we're so pleased it has happened. It's likely we won't be clearing the dirty crockery from the table until the customer has left, to minimise contact. As we go forward, we'll keep developing and adapting to the situation. Where we are a family-run pub, we can adapt to many different situations on the spot. Kelly Early, landlady of 8 Bells, Carisbrooke, who runs the family pub with her husband and owner Keith, said they were looking forward to reopening. We have done a lot of work by spacing out our tables inside and outside, introducing a one-way system and putting screens up at the bar. We are anticipating introducing a booking system as well as taking customers' contact details for track and trace. Lockdown has hit us hard, but we took it as an opportunity to redecorate the pub, deep clean the kitchen and prepare for when a day like this came along. Emma Thuneson, office manager at holiday cottage business Nettlecombe Farm, Whitwell, said the phone hasn't stopped ringing since the announcement. She said, "We're so excited, the adrenaline's pumping. We've just been waiting for that announcement. We've got a lot to go through now. Keeping our staff and the Isle of Wight residents safe is our main priority. The phone hasn't stopped and the emails are flooding in. I think for the next 3 months we've hardly got any availability now. We did encourage a lot of our guests to reschedule, and I have to say 97% have done just that. They've been really supportive of our business, which is a tremendous credit to them. Our top priority is to keep the island safe and encourage our visitors to act responsibly." In Cowes, stylist Charlotte Brown is going to extraordinary lengths to give her customers the earliest possible opportunity to fix their lockdown mops by opening her salon at midnight. Alan Edmonds, general manager at the Spyglass in Ventnor, said he and his team have been working through the detail. Every venue is different, so we need to understand how these new ways of working will best suit our pub, said Adam. We've been anticipating reopening the Spyglass for a few weeks now, so we already have some good ideas. So while our regulars will notice some changes, we're confident we can offer a proper Spyglass welcome. Among other sites to fully reopen on July the 4th is Bembridge Harbour, where visitors will be able to stay overnight for the first time since lockdown. The harbour is due to complete its dredging programme on time in its residence marina, which will give full visitors' pontoon availability. Isle of Wight MP Bob Seeley has welcomed the news part of the leisure and tourism industry can start to reopen in what he called a turning point for island businesses and local livelihood. He praised the Prime Minister for relaxing the 2-metre social distancing rule, which effectively made it impossible for the hospitality industry to operate. While the government announcement is music to the ears of many, a number of businesses still remain in limbo. It was announced nightclubs, spas, indoor soft play areas, bowling alleys, water parks, indoor gyms, nail bars, swimming pools and water parks will remain closed for the foreseeable future.
This is Chris, reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Isle of Wight runners raised £2,000 for trust. 3 island women have completed their fundraising challenge, running every day in the month of May. Chris Amy, daughter Nicola Attrell and daughter-in-law Caroline Amy all took on the challenge, Move It May, raising money for Wessex Cancer Trust. The trio have raised more than £2,000, clocking up a combined total of 310 miles. We are extremely grateful to our friends and family who have supported us so generously, said Chris. We appreciate there are many charities appealing for help at this time. Wessex Cancer Trust provides many services, but the most important are the Daisy buses, which transport cancer patients from the Red Jet to Southampton General, or from the hovercraft to Queen Alexandra in Portsmouth. This is a vital link for islanders. To support the trio and make a donation, go to www.justgiving.com/fundraising/Nicola-Attrill.
This is Howard reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press about an Emmy Award. An Isle of Wight screenwriter and her writing partner have been nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award for Netflix show Free Rein. The winners of the prestigious awards will be unveiled in California later today after the ceremony was delayed due to coronavirus. Vicky Lutus and Anna McCleary have been nominated for Outstanding Writing for a Children's or Young Adult Programme at this year's online awards ceremony for their work on Season 3. The show follows the horse adventures of Zoe and her friends, set on an island inspired by the Isle of Wight. Today's ceremony will be virtual and without an audience. The main awards will be televised in the USA, while other winners will be announced on Twitter. Free Rein is available in 190 countries. The show has enjoyed previous recognition, scooping Outstanding Children's or Family Viewing Series at the Daytime Emmys in 2018. Vicky said, "We're beyond thrilled to be nominated. I know everyone says it, but we honestly didn't expect to be." The process of making Free Rein has been a complete whirlwind, and the fact that the show continues to find an audience who love it is just magical to hear. I've had so many messages from people whose kids have been binging all 3 seasons during lockdown. I think the mix of adventure, friendship, and horses is the escapism they really need right now. To know we may have played a small part in bringing a smile to some children's faces in an otherwise extremely scary time is what it's all about, really.
This is Den reading from OnTheWight. Weddings can now go ahead. A few days late for junior doctor Emily and her fiancé. News that weddings can go ahead will be a relief to many, but too late for junior doctor Emily, who was due to marry her fiancé last weekend, so they can finally cohabit. As part of the general easing of coronavirus lockdown measures, the Prime Minister announced on Tuesday that places of worship would be able to reopen for prayer and services, including weddings with a maximum of 30 people, all subject to social distancing. The news will be welcomed by the 250 couples whose weddings had been put on hold during lockdown, but particularly by local veterinary surgeons Simon and Caroline Baker, whose daughter Emily was due to get married to her fiancé Adam last weekend. Dr Baker had written to Conservative Island of Wight MP Bob Seeley about the issue several times during lockdown, but had received nothing other than a standard placeholding response. After News on the Wight contacted Bob last week, explaining we were writing an article about his lack of response, Dr Baker received a phone call within the hour. He was told that the bureaucratic wheels were grinding slowly and that the issue had not had much profile. Something that might have been different, he said, had Bob's office taken an interest earlier on. Over 24,000 people signed a petition calling for weddings to go ahead, but even when the relaxation of shopping, partial reopening of schools, meeting friends, Funerals, restricted to 10 people, creating family bubbles, etc., were all going ahead. Weddings, which only require 5 people, were still banned. Mr. Baker explained why the wedding that had been planned was so very important to his daughter and her fiancé. They are good Christian kids who are not going to cohabit until they are wed. Marriage for them represents a complete change of life in a way that is not quite the same for couples who have already been living together for years. The Bishop of Portsmouth had been supportive of the wedding going ahead, but Dr. Baker explained, during lockdown the government maintained a near absolute ban on all weddings. My daughter Emily is a junior doctor whose life was turned upside down by the huge changes imposed on medical staff by COVID. The bright spot on the horizon was her planned wedding on the 20th of June. But as the government opened non-essential shops, the ban on weddings remained. There was simply no good reason for this. Legal marriage only requires 5 people together. I had submitted questions to be raised at the daily Downing Street briefings and had emailed Matt Hancock directly. Nothing. Weddings were mentioned in the plan to rebuild, issued in early May, and then appeared to have been entirely forgotten. It was neglect at best, and cruel incompetence at worst, to maintain for so long, and with no acknowledged exit strategy, such a ban on a basic human right. How far has the Tory party slipped to care so little about marriage? Then, out of the blue, Boris Johnson announces on Tuesday that weddings were back on from the 4th of July and with up to 30 people. Very fortunately, Emily's church has been able to respond, and she will marry Adam on that day. The government could have allowed small weddings weeks ago. They could have said previously that slightly bigger weddings would be on the cards in the next round of relaxations. But as the government's handling of this whole COVID crisis, they have caused distress unnecessarily through their utter lack of transparency, all the while claiming to be straight with the public. They couldn't even give an honest answer to Bob Seeley last week.
This is an article from the Isle of Wight Observer, read by Terry. Isle of Wight Lottery celebrates 1,000 milestone. The Isle of Wight Lottery is celebrating their 1,000th draw day, and to mark the occasion they're giving away a holiday voucher worth £2,000. To celebrate the milestone, instead of the normal weekly draw, they are giving away a £2,000 holiday voucher to one lucky winner on Friday the 10th of July to spend however they choose. With all the doom and gloom that we are all facing at the moment, flights and holidays being cancelled for 2020 and some unfortunately struggling to get any type of refund on holidays they have booked and had cancelled, why not let the Isle of Wight Lottery take some of that stress away from you with their promise to pay you up to £2,000 towards a future holiday of your choice. Anytime, anyone, any place, anywhere you decide, and Isle of Wight Lottery will pay, giving you something to look forward to when it's safe to travel again. To sign up now or even subscribe to another number, visit www.iwchamber.co.uk/lottery/1000th, that's 100 and then th hyphen draw, DRAW /. Players must be 16 or over. Full terms and conditions apply. Please visit their website for details.
This is Sue reading an article from OnTheWight. Historic watchtower on freshwater cliffs to be demolished next month. Local resident Daniel James says if the local landmark was repaired, it could form a tourism asset offering a viewpoint for birdwatchers and walkers on the coastal path. A demolition application for a 2-storey observation tower, believed to date from the Second World War, has been made to the Isle of Wight Council. Demolition is scheduled for the 9th of July. The steel and reinforced concrete watchtower on the cliff edge above Fort Albert in Freshwater is currently closed to the public. Part of the cantilever roof lip on the upper storey has fallen off, although the majority of the structure remains. Local resident Daniel James commented, "Cliff End Battery is a locally listed heritage asset, but there is no heritage report in this application for demolition. Local people are not aware of this application, which has only just been released to the press by the Isle of Wight Council, with 1 week's notice of the end of the consultation on the 3rd of July. There are no details whatsoever or measures which could be taken to protect the Cliff End Battery or the adjacent Fort Victoria site of importance for nature conservation from damage during the demolition of the observation tower. Nor are there any details of measures which will be taken to restore the battery or the nature conservation site after demolition. The observation tower is a landmark on the cliff edge and, if repaired, could form a tourism asset offering a viewpoint for birdwatchers and walkers on the coastal path. As a former military station manned by soldiers from Golden Hill Fort and elsewhere, the battery could attract heritage grants for restoration, and the tower used to provide information to visitors about the history of the area. Objections to demolition of the tower can be made using the link on the council's website."
This is Howard reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press regarding Isle of Wight's Great Wonderfest. The Isle of Wight's Great Wonderfest is to be Britain's first socially distanced festival. The Isle of Wight is set to host Britain's first socially distanced festival in August. Great Wonderfest, the Duxmoor Farm-based event, will go ahead in 2020 in a very different format to what had been planned. It'll take account of very different times. It's moved to the August bank holiday weekend, that's August 28th to 30th. Organisers say families will be able to enjoy a new way of watching some great acts in a safe and spacious way. Families of up to 6 people will use a theatre-style system to pre-book a dedicated 3-metre by 3-metre pitch that is exclusively theirs for the day. There'll be 1.5-metre gaps between pitches. Organisers said line-up details would be announced very soon. A spokesperson for the festival said, "With a main stage line-up that caters for all tastes and ages, families who finally want the chance to put the social into social distancing this summer need to head to www.greatwonderfest.com and register their details, as space is limited." Wonderfest says the layout of the pitches has been precisely designed to allow safe access and will be distanced in accordance with the most up-to-date government advice, with friendly and professional stewards ensuring families remain safe at all times. Festival goers will be able to pimp their pitches, giving them a uniquely personal touch. The festival will also maintain social distancing by making all transactions cashless, and hygiene will be the top priority, with extensive hand washing stations and toilet facilities throughout the site. As campsites open up across the UK, Great Wonderfest has a range of options to stay on site. Safely spaced bell tents and teepees are available to hire from glamping experts who will manage a safe and welcoming environment for campers. Those with motorhomes and caravan can pre-book pitches in a campsite with premium sanitation facilities. The spokesperson said, "Duxmoor Farm is a large and beautiful festival site. However, due to guidelines ensuring customer safety, there are only a limited allocation of main arena pitches available. So festival-going families are advised to register their interest now by heading to www.greatwonderfest.com and signing up for more information." As well as a dedicated customizable pitch, festival goers will be able to enjoy traditional festival entertainment and activities throughout the spacious site. From a giant Ferris wheel offering incredible views across the island to a range of supervised, safely distanced outdoor family pursuits, including forest, school and circus skills, there'll be festival fun tailored to meet the latest safety guidelines. Food lovers are in for a treat with a specially devised food court encompassing 3 restaurants, each with generous outdoor seating plans that can be pre-booked for sittings throughout the day and night. The spokesperson said, premium caterers will offer an exciting and varied menu with table service to ensure the highest food hygiene standards are maintained. Takeaway food services will also be available, while drinks can be pre-ordered and delivered cold to your pitch. Great Wonderfest is confident it can deliver an exciting family festival experience in a safe and secure environment. The team behind Great Wonderfest comprises some of the festival industry's most experienced promoters and festival producers from World of Wonderfest and Loud Sound. With months of careful consideration and detailed planning from some of the most highly regarded event professionals in the UK, Great Wonderfest is confident it can deliver an exciting family festival experience in a safe and secure environment. The spokesperson said, "The Isle of Wight is known as Festival Island, so it seems fitting that the Great Wonderfest should be leading the way. We hope it will go a long way in helping our live event industry get back to its world-beating best." Wayne Whittle, Isle of Wight Council Cabinet Member for Regeneration and Business Development, said, "It's good to see an island business with a long history of holding quality events using their initiative to devise a groundbreaking way to hold a festival this August. While we remain vigilant about the measures required to keep the public safe, we welcome Great Wonderfest's strict safety planning and the investment in our economy at such an important time. We wish them every success."
This is Chris, reading an article from OnTheWight. Plans on the horizon for 475 new homes in Ryde. Of the 475 houses, following housing allocations from the Isle of Wight Council, 35% or 166 homes will be affordable. An island developer is getting ready to submit plans for a new 475 house development in Ryde. Last September, Captiva Homes unveiled plans for Westacre Park at the top of Ryde, on land behind Bullen Road, Hope Road and Apley Road, in order to undertake public consultation. Now, a public notice has been issued announcing the imminent submission to the Isle of Wight Council for planning permission to start the major works, which include 475 houses, a doctor's surgery and a cafe. Updated plans will be submitted for approval in the near future, which include 10 more houses than previously thought, to increase the opportunities for first-time buyers. Developers promise they will leave more than a third of the development area open to the public, creating 25 acres of landscaped space. Captiva Homes, who are also the developers behind Princess Court in East Cowes, Springfield Court in Seaview and Cavendish Close in Bembridge, said it was ready to submit plans 3 months ago, but due to lockdown held the submission back. James Pink, director, said, "Our ethos is openness and integrity, and to have submitted plans before now felt at odds with this. But we are passionate about the Isle of Wight, and we must get the economy up and running again. We have always been about building island homes for island people, and during the public consultation we had feedback from people about the number of homes available for first-time buyers. As a result, We have reduced the number of executive homes and provided more homes for those just starting out on the property ladder. We have not reduced the amount of green space we were planning for, as lockdown has made people think more about the space they live in and what they value most from their homes. The priorities seem to have shifted, with people wanting the ability for separate areas to work from home and, of course, with better access to high-speed internet connectivity. Outdoor space has become high on the agenda for people looking to move, with bigger gardens and access to green space on the doorstep. In line with Ryde Town Council's place plan, we have a stunning park right at the heart of our Westacre Park development. By placing the landscape at the centre of this development, we have been given the unique opportunity to create something truly special. A place where nature in all its beauty and seasonality permeates every aspect of daily life. Next to the Westacre Park development, also on Hope Road, Captiva are currently building more than 80 houses. The proposals to allow access to Westacre Park from Apley Road and Bullen Road are aimed to alleviate the burden on Hope Road, with a footpath from Marlborough Road to enter the site. Of the 475 houses, following housing allocations from the Isle of Wight Council, 35% or 166 homes will be affordable. Mr. Pink said, "The land in this location has been identified as suitable for residential development, and the team at Captiva Homes, as local people, felt a commitment to exploring this opportunity to ensure maximum protection and responsible development by the land by islanders who care about our community. This is what we had in mind when we developed the Westacre concept. These homes go some way to meeting the housing requirements for our island now and for future generations, and we have designed our homes to grow with families and give them the opportunity to extend them in the future. Captiva Homes anticipates the scheme will see more than £2 million invested into the local community, including for schools, improvements to local roads and highway infrastructure, a new community cafe or hub on the parkland, a recreation ground and a play area, and an increase to the current number of allotments."
This is an article from the Isle of Wight Observer, read by Terry. Islanders urged to participate in open public consultation on drilling. Residents against oil drilling on the Isle of Wight are urging islanders to participate in the open public consultation by the launch of the Don't Drill the Wight campaign this weekend. If this planning application is successful, UK Oil and Gas, UKOG, are proposing to construct an exploratory well pad, access road for HGVs and a security compound on land between Arreton and Merston later this year. If productive, they plan to build more well pads in years to come. Don't Drill the Wight is a grassroots campaign led by islanders who oppose oil drilling on our island and point to increased heavy traffic, loss of wildlife habitat, risk of spillages of toxic materials, pollution and carbon emissions from the development of the site. A spokesperson for Don't Drill the Wight said it is essential that as many islanders as possible voice their objections during this consultation period, which ends only 4 weeks away on the 24th of July. If oil and gas are found in commercial quantities, we will be looking at the creeping industrialisation of the surrounding countryside and associated activities for the next 20 years or more. We must show the Isle of Wight Council through sheer numbers of objections that thousands of islanders feel very strongly about the countryside and do not want UKOG to drill the Wight. The launch event will be held in the open air at Merston Station on Saturday the 27th of June at 11 a.m. Those attending are asked to respect social distancing rules and arrive by bike or bus or on foot if possible. The event will be videoed and shared for those who cannot attend but wish to join the campaign. To find out more, please visit www.don'tdrillthewight, with no apostrophe on the word don't there, .co.uk, and submit any objections on the Isle of Wight Council website by Friday the 24th of July.
Hello, this is Sue reading an article from OnTheWight. Red Funnel Chief happy to have high-level discussion about new ferry route. No discussions have taken place yet, but CEO of the ferry operator that runs between the Isle of Wight and Southampton says the company are open to consideration of other ventures. The CEO of Red Funnel has told a Weymouth Town Councillor that the company would be happy to take part in high-level discussions about a possible new ferry route from the town. Councillor Jan Bergman has been exploring the idea of a ferry service between Weymouth and the Channel Islands and says he's received favourable responses from ferry companies and officials in Guernsey. Red Funnel is one of those ferry companies, and their CEO, Fran Collins, told Councillor Bergman that they'd be happy to have a high-level discussion to understand more about his aspirations for Weymouth Port. She added that the company is open to the considerations of other ventures. Ms Collins told Dorset Echo that there has not been any discussions at this stage and that Dorset Council have not shared any detail of its thoughts regarding routes or timetables. Michael Smith from the Isle of Wight Liberal Democrats told News on the Wight, "I believe Red Funnel should be putting the people of the Isle of Wight first and should invest in a new and greener car ferries for East Cowes to Southampton, replacing 25-year-old ships and giving reasonable fares for Isle of Wight residents. Yes, we have seen new Red Jet ferries and new freight-only vessel, but in my view, Red Funnel should concentrate on the Isle of Wight." Mr Smith went on to add, "They have also failed in the last 3 years to complete regenerating the ferry ports at Southampton and East Cowes. I can't see this current council managing anything useful given the floating bridge disaster. But with council elections next year, they could ask other companies to see if they would like to run services to the Isle of Wight and to invest in new car ferries and better services."
Hello, this is Steve, and this week I'm reading some official advice on social distancing for people with sight impairments. The current UK government advice is to keep a 2-metre distance from anyone not in your household, including when out walking, in shops and on public transport. This is important to reduce the spread of COVID-19, but presents some particular challenges for people with sight impairments. We are here to support and advise on how to make this easier and safer, as well as on how members of the public and providers of public transport and retail space can help. Mobility tips. Try to go out at quieter times if possible, when distancing will be easier. Google Maps can give you information on busy times at locations like country parks and supermarkets, or try calling the venue and asking when it is quieter. If you have someone to guide you, they may need to give you more verbal information than usual on the immediate environment, as there may be more frequent changes in direction to avoid other people and maintain a distance. It may be advisable to still use a symbol cane to signal your sight impairment to others so they can give you extra space and time to distance. If you already have a guide cane or long cane, make sure you use it every time you go out. If you're accompanied, you can either hold it diagonally across your body, provided it doesn't become a trip hazard or interfere with guiding, or hold it by your side. If you're walking independently, make the cane more obvious. It may be helpful to make the arc a little wider than usual to be more noticeable. For long cane users, if you are familiar with three-point touch, this may be a useful technique where there is a physical boundary to the inner shoreline, for example a wall. The sound made as the cane drops makes it more noticeable. Where there is no solid boundary, or if you are more comfortable with two-point touch, tapping the arc left and right, this may be preferable to constant touch, as it will give an audible clue to alert other pedestrians to your presence. Ensure you feel comfortable and confident with your mobility skills. If you need advice on refreshing or updating your cane skills, contact the main charity on 01983 522 205. Also, if you aren't currently a cane user and feel this would be useful, contact us also. Consider wearing a high visibility armband or sash to make you more visible to the general public. Walk closer to the inner shoreline than to the curb. Anyone approaching you will then be able to move over. If you think someone is too close, perhaps in a queue or on a bus, explain to them that you have a sight impairment and ask if you are 2 meters away from them. You may be able to tell by the sound of their reply if they are too close. This may prompt them to move back or give you the opportunity to move if you safely can. Use your arms to push doors open rather than your hands. When you get home again, wash your hands as per government guidelines for at least 20 seconds. If you used a cane, clean it with warm soapy water or disinfectant, then wash your hands as before. Similarly, wash the handle of your guide dog's harness, then wash your hands. Avoid touching your face at all times. Use hand sanitizer if you have it, and wash your hands as soon as you can. Shopping. While many supermarkets have stated that they will only permit one adult to enter at a time, they are generally willing to allow someone who is clearly being guided to enter the store in a pair. Consider using your cane to help others understand your sight impairment. Larger stores will have a greeter who may be able to assist you with sanitizing the trolley handle, etc. If you're unaccompanied, some stores may have sufficient staff to have a member of staff shop with you, but they will need to maintain a 2 meter distance from you at all times. Contact the shop prior to your visit to check options and availability. Wearing gloves and or a face covering is a personal choice in shops, although a face covering may be advisable in smaller shops where you may be unable to maintain a 2 meter distance from others. The best way to prevent the virus being passed on is to wash your hands before leaving the house and as soon as you come back, and to avoid touching your face. Carry hand sanitizer if you can. Use contactless payment where possible. If you have to use a keypad or cash, avoid touching your face and wash your hands as soon as possible afterwards, or use a hand sanitizer. Public transport. Face coverings on public transport are now mandatory, unless you cannot wear one, for example, because your only remaining field of vision would be lost. We have cards available which state you are exempt, which can be sent to you by calling the main charity on 01983 522 205. As before, if you have a cane, use it to make others aware. If you do not have a cane, contact us to discuss using a short symbol cane, high visibility sash, or armband, which may also help. How can members of the public, transport providers and shops help? Remember that a person with low or no vision cannot maintain social distancing, as they cannot tell how close another person is. It is the responsibility of sighted members of the public to maintain that distance. Allow a sight-impaired person to shop with a carer or guide if necessary. Do not approach, talk to or try to stroke a guide dog. This will distract it from its vital work in keeping its owner safe. Do not let your pet approach a guide dog either. A guide dog is not trained to socially distance or queue. On arrival at a supermarket or shop, it will walk straight up to the front door and go inside. The guide dog owner is not deliberately jumping the queue. If a visually impaired person appears to require assistance, offer it politely from a 2 metre distance, and the person will accept or decline as needed. Be aware of white canes as a symbol of sight loss and white canes with red bands as a sign of dual sensory loss or deaf blindness. Some sight impaired people do not use a cane, so be aware their sight impairment may not be obvious. Ensure any temporary signage in shops is in a large, clear font, preferably not handwritten. Provide high visibility clothing for staff to make them more identifiable to sight impaired customers. If required, offer clear, descriptive verbal guidance to customers, for example, where to find an empty seat on the bus or how to locate the card reader. The Be My Eyes app. Be My Eyes is a free smartphone app which connects people with sight impairments to sighted volunteers. It uses the internal camera on your phone to capture a live view of what's around you, which is shared with a volunteer. This allows a volunteer to be your eyes and support you with a variety of daily tasks, including help with social distancing in queues, help to find a product placed on the counter in a shop or a chemist's, reading you information on medication, reading signs outside shops that are detailing changes in store, reading receipts, and organising and putting away shopping.
Hello, this is Ruth, Group Leader for the Macular Society on the Isle of Wight. If, as a visually impaired person, you are struggling with technology, don't forget that you can access the Macular Society's Connect by Tech line. This is a support line run by volunteers who can answer your tech queries and help you with remote support. Their number is 0300 30 111. Similarly, the RNIB offer a service that can help you with your technology queries. For example, setting up an Alexa, accessing Zoom meetings or using Facebook. Their number is 030 30 123 9999.
Sight for Wight would like to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Talking News. We would also like to thank our volunteers for reading, and a particular thank you to the Isle of Wight County Press, Island Observer and OnTheWight. A special thank you must go to Vectis Radio, who has helped us get vital information to our members.